Hello. Okay, wait, hold on. That's funky. Let me just make sure that my audio is good. Hi, welcome back to the stream, another stream. Uh, Harvard, what? Pomodoro? Sorry. The audio just started playing from a random tab because I always keep one of these open so I can like hear myself and make sure the audio is good. But yes, we're going to be doing Pomodoro today and doing 25-minute sprints with little breaks in between. And I just had the chat open for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and um, answer some of the questions. So let's see what you guys had to say. Oh yeah, the first thing is that Hassan, thank you so much for the super. That is super nice of you. No pun intended. Lynn, how do you express inner dialogue in story? So this is a really, I'm so excited that people are asking like craft questions in chat because there's literally nothing I love more. Um, but essentially, yeah, there's obviously like a bunch of different ways to go about it. I think for me, the first step, and usually when I'm approaching like a bigger, more macro craft question like this, you want to think in stages. So, first step, if you're approaching the inner dialogue of your POV character, one of your POV characters, you want to figure out what their internal voice sounds like. So, do they think in a specific kind of metaphor? I'm going to be very specific and say that the main character of Moths is basically like a fancy magic entomologist. So she does study insects, and she's been studying insects her entire academic career. So a lot of her thought process and a lot of the way that she observes the world is filtered through this lens of entomology, insects, this fixation she's had all her life. So she'll look at someone and think like they look like a stick insect. Obviously, more eloquent than that, but you get the gist. So, first of all, you want to figure out that inner voice. Inner character voice is just as important as outer or spoken character voice, and sometimes I think more important. And then as for writing it, I think just kind of go with what feels instinctive. Like when it comes to inner dialogue, you're not filtering so much. You don't necessarily need to rely on subtext as much as you would with spoken dialogue. So you don't have to worry about conveying things, like conveying that character's feeling a certain way about another character just through the way that they talk without necessarily saying it out loud, like that kind of subtext. You can pretty much just state it. But so I would say just let loose and let all of those emotions and thoughts flow free and then edit. So edit to make sure that you aren't being repetitive or, doing that thing where you write five different sentences that are saying the same thing, like saying the character is angry, saying the character is frustrated, saying the character is clenching her fist. Like you don't need to do all that. You just pick one. The other thing I would look out for is cliche. I think that one of the areas in which a lot of writers, including myself, tend to fall into cliche the most is when describing emotion, because it's really hard to describe emotion. Definitely one of the things I struggle with consistently is writing emotion. And then finally, or do I have a finally? Um, I would just say be concise and follow your character's voice, but also make sure it doesn't go on too long. It's okay to have an inner monologue be kind of a monologue and have the character think through, especially in a moment of introspection. So I love to use introspection in transitional scenes. So after something really big and important and wild happens in the story, I like to give that character a beat to sort of think about what's happened, process how they're feeling, even if they're not doing it correctly, even if they're still not a fully self-actualized individual yet, as most of my characters tend to be. You want to give them that breathing room. But I don't want it to go on too long because that will affect the pacing. And I do have a video on pacing coming out this Saturday. Okay, let's go through more of these. This is coming at the perfect time. After an almost 2-month writing slump, I edited my whip yesterday and added 800 crucial words. That is amazing. Hoping to ride this wave. Me too. I've had a good week and I've been revising Moths still. I'm literally so close to the finish line. I have under 10 chapters left to revise at this point, and then I'll be ready to query, I think. Um, so I think I'm doing this again so soon after my first one because I had such a good time and I got so much done and I really liked chatting with everyone. So I just wanted to hop back on and try to get some more done. But it's been like I've been writing and working on revisions every day. So I hope you get some of that good energy too. I'm definitely riding that wave today as well. Before we start, I just wanna say that this thumbnail slays. Thank you. I like my thumbnails recently. I've been going for the colorful thumbnails, like green and blue color palettes and springtime yellows and stuff, and I've been really enjoying it. Um, how many projects are you working on right now? Just one. I do have a couple of back burner projects, so I would say that I have a couple of books that I'm considering working on, but I definitely haven't put any words in, haven't really done much with those other than let the ideas marinate because I'm really trying to finish moths. Hi to everyone who said hi. Do you have any book recommendations to improve prose? Um, yeah. I would say that reading literary fiction in general has helped me a lot. If literary fiction books are a little bit difficult for you to approach, then literary short fiction is a great option. It's like most magazines now just share their stories online for free, which is absolutely wild, but I highly recommend just, like, looking at short stories. I think when it comes to reading to improve prose, the secret is to read diversely and to read a bunch of different styles from a bunch of different perspectives and in a bunch of different genres. Um, but yeah, some books that definitely helped me level up my prose. Let's see. I feel like classics honestly helped. I was one of those kids where I just like read a lot of classics, not because I wanted to. My mom forced me to read like Charles Dickens and stuff. So I feel like reading sort of that type of prose really expanded my vocabulary especially and gave me some interesting types of syntax to absorb as well. What is the difference between literary fiction and genre fiction? I thought it was that lit fic was more character driven, but genre can be character driven too, so I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion, it's pretty arbitrary, and I feel like all genre basically boils down to marketing. But literary fiction doesn't have to necessarily like conform to the standards, I guess, of genre fiction. Genre fiction I feel like if a book is a science fiction book, then it's very much a science fiction book, and literary fiction can play with that more. But literary fiction can also not have any speculative elements in it as well. I don't know. I guess I'm not the best person to ask because I blend the two a lot, and I don't really think there's a real distinction personally. Although, they're shelved in different places. Um, I'm back if you even remember me from last year. Yes, I do. Thank you for coming back. I am glad that you enjoyed yourself enough to, hop back on. Alright. I have a pretty detailed outline for the first act of my novel, and I know where I want to end it, but the middle escapes me completely. So do you have any advice for fleshing that out? I do have an old video. I'm sorry, I feel like I shouldn't refer people to videos. But I do have an old video talking about the saggy middle, and it is a problem that a lot of people have. Again, it's something I have. I am not immune to these issues, and I feel not qualified to help people with them sometimes. But with the saggy middle, the thing that helped me the most was just realizing that you kind of always need a midpoint twist or a midpoint peak. So in roughly the 50% mark of your novel, make sure that something big happens to like change the main character's goal in some way or change the conflict. Like something has to switch, like the status quo needs to switch up. And that usually helps get me unstuck and usually gives me a little bit more momentum. I think it's also helpful because it kind of splits that big second act because it's usually the longest act up into two parts. And it's like the good part where it's the fun and games and you're trying to like achieve the goal that the character is established in the beginning, and then the downfall, like the downward arc, and that thing they teach you in English class, the plot diagram, which is my favorite part, is when everything just kind of goes to crap and you have to scramble to figure things out and the characters are really challenged in ways they haven't been challenged before. Um, but yeah, so hopefully that helps. Basically, try to figure out if you can work in a midpoint twist. How would you describe your own writing style? It depends. I definitely am a voicey writer, but my voice changes a little bit with every book. So I like to think that I'm funny. People who read my work say that I am funny, but kind of in a dry way. I also tend to have a lot of imagery, a lot of like metaphors. So it's a little literary leaning, but I don't go full ham with it because I like very utilitarian writing style as well. So I think I'm a nice balance of the two, or that's what I strive for. Hi, Marco. Yeah, everyone is good. Everything is good. There was actually I had my first Midwestern tornado warning yesterday, so that was super fun. The siren sounds like death. It sounded like demons were about to descend. I'm from Southern California, so I've never experienced this before. Like the tornado siren because we don't have those. I have had tornado warnings in California before, weirdly enough. But yeah, other than that, it went by us completely like nothing bad happened. Everyone's good. Hi, do you ever feel super nervous about someone else reading what you're working on? If so, do you have any tips on how to overcome that? Yeah, I think honestly, I still get nervous sharing stuff. I have my close set of people that I've just been sharing stuff with forever, and I have like two or three purple. I have two or three people in my life where I've been sharing stuff with them for so long that I basically just throw my rough drafts at them and are like, "Here, just look at it. Just tell me it exists." Um, So I guess the only thing you can really do is start. This might sound weird, but start easier on yourself. Like start with someone who isn't also someone who is a writer and will have opinions. If you want to ease into sharing your work, find someone who will probably be a little more on the complimentary side just to get yourself used to it. Um, yeah, but really the only way to do it is to find someone you trust and send them your work. Do you have any tips for writing action scenes, chases, or fight scenes? How do you make these types of scenes engaging? Less is more, and short sentences and sentence fragments really shine here. So I would focus on keeping yourself like rooted in the character. What just happened? I don't know what it just like gave me a thumbs down for some reason. I don't think it was you guys. I think it was something I did on here. Whatever. Um, so less is more, short, punchy sentences. Um, yeah, don't feel the need to describe every action or track every action. Just figure out those main beats and hit them. Not Lynn, but I commiserate. Sharing work with others is honestly terrifying. It is, and it doesn't ever get easier. But as you get more advanced or as you level up in writing, you end up sharing it more and more. So you just kind of have to like quell that anxiety as best as you can. Any updates on your querying journey? I have not started yet. I'm still revising. I'm on track to be finished by the end of the month if I can just keep it together. I am moving at the end of the month, so again, and it's going to be messy again, but it's fine. I am kind of just like letting myself get this book to the furthest point I can get it to, and make it as strong as I can, and then I'll query, but I don't think it'll be much longer. But yeah, I haven't started yet. Would you recommend switching fonts if you have characters write letters so that the readers can tell what is a letter and what's not? I have never consciously thought about this because I am so used to like everything being in Times New Roman and that not being flexible at all. Because I shared my work, you know, within the industry standard format. Um, I just italicize it, I think. So I have some journal entries in Mods and they're all italicized. But yeah, I think some sort of like visual distinction is helpful. Yep. Yes. Oh, I can't believe we're both in the Midwest. Yeah. I moved here for school, but it hasn't started yet. I usually have trouble with the second act, but the part that's after the midpoint, but before the sort of beginning of act three, like I'm not sure how to not make it wallowing until something happens. Yeah, again, this is what the midpoint twist is for. It makes this weird, clunky part a little less weird and clunky because something new and different is happening. Um, Generally speaking, if you feel like you're wallowing, which I often feel, sometimes I'm looking at these chapters in Act 4 of Moths. It's a 5-act book. And I'm like, what are they even doing at this point? So what I had to do was figure out the conflict of those scenes, of those chapters, and make sure they're very clear and that they're being established or brought into the story in some way. Yeah, so just keep track of your goals and conflict and motivation. Like all the internal stuff is really what pushes or propels a story forward and makes it feel like there's momentum before you get to that big fight scene, metaphorical or literal, of the ending. How did you find the idea for a full-length novel? I this I'm sorry, I've never had like issues with ideas. I have issues with staying on ideas. Really just if you're looking for inspiration, find the things that speak to you, find the things that inspire you. For me, like Mods is set in France, it's set in grad school, it's about alchemy, which I was really interested in as like the real life discipline, and I just turned it into a weird magic system. So I just found different pieces of my life and things that I enjoyed in my experiences, and also especially like the introspective sort of things I've undergone as a person, and I just kind of turned them into a book. Are you using a newish iPhone? They can detect yeah, I am. Okay, that makes sense. I was so confused. Um, do you have any tips for coming up with good short story ideas? Yeah, again, like, same with full-length novel ideas, really just find something that speaks to you, find some part of your lived experience that you think is interesting and you think you can, like, develop a theme around. I tend to, with a short story, go, like, theme or messaging first. So, well, my most recent one that I finished, but I haven't, like, edited yet, was a Cli-Fi piece, and I have a lot of perspectives on climate change because I want to teach environmental science and life sciences and that kind of thing. Already finished my writing for the day, but I'm here for moral support. Thank you. We're going to need it. We're definitely going to need it. Or I'm going to need it. I hope no one else needs it. 4-act structures peak, honestly. I think, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've moved past 3-act structure at this point. I think it was a really good starting out point for me to learn kind of the basics of story structure and what's expected of you in a story in a way, but I like 4-act, I like 5-act. How can you use settings to convey theme? This is a good question. I don't know why I tried to put my AirPod in. Um, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. For me, if it's a real place, then I'm gonna kinda look at the history of that place and what it represents to me and what it has represented throughout history. If it's a fictional setting or if it's just something a little bit more abstract, not abstract, but more vague, less specific, like a forest or whatever, then yeah, you're just gonna kind of have to dig for any potential metaphors you can bring out of that. Like, for example, if the forest. Oh, another thing, sorry. My brain is all over the place. Another thing is that you can have the setting kind of be a character, kind of shift and change and grow with the theme. I feel like that's a really effective way to use setting to convey theme. Um, and like for example, in one of my favorite movies of all time, Princess Mononoke, the forest is dying. I mean, that's I guess like a very it's not so much theme as just like straight up this is climate change, but I feel like it's such a good, like powerful visual metaphor and it's really striking and like all the damage that happens to that forest. Really, really pushes and propels that theme forward. I don't know, something like that, like, I hope that makes sense, kind of make the setting alive, make it breathe, make it change, make it be affected by the character's actions, or make it affect the characters in turn, that sort of thing. Using this to force myself to work on character design. Yeah, any productive thing you wanna get done, we're just gonna Pomodoro, and I'm gonna start in just a little bit, I promise. So anything you wanna get done, anyone is welcome. Yes. 10K words at the end of April, haven't written for weeks. I feel that sometimes the slump just hits. If I stop writing for even like a day, um, I feel very weird. Sorry, my it's fine. Um, oh, the trials and tribulations. I feel like such a grandma when I run these streams, but I'm doing my best, and I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it. Okay. Any advice for getting through a project that you may not yet have the skill for? I say try it anyway. I say get as far as you can because you might pick up the skills you need as you're working on it, and, like, challenging yourself through writing or any type of creative project is the best way to develop. If you just play it safe continuously, then you're not gonna grow as quickly, you might not grow at all. But if you really, like, push yourself to, approach a project that you're like, okay, maybe I don't fully understand the themes. What can I research? Who can I listen to? What can I learn about this setting, these characters? What can I learn about writing craft? If you take your time with it, go slow, pick up the skills you need to, do the research you need to. I feel like you can still. Same, I hit a slump on one project, so now I'm outlining/brainstorming this current one just to keep my creative juices flowing. Yeah, anything you have to do. Sometimes I mean, right now, because 'cause I'm so laser focused on mobs, I haven't done this, but I will go back and forth on different projects just to kind of figure out which one I feel more committed to. Oh, sorry, this one is sad. Moral support would be much appreciated. My dog died yesterday, and so I've been crying daily, but she would want me to make the most of each day and be productive. I'm sorry, pet death is really hard. But you know, you're not alone, and yeah, she would want you to make the most of each day. I stopped doing anything writing related during finals, so I'm desperately trying to catch up to where I wanted to be. Yeah, doing like writing during school is so hard, and I'm really, really scared. Thankfully, my program is only a year, but then like right after I'm gonna go into the workforce, which I've had a lot of weird jobs. I've never really had like a full big girl job. My last 9 to 5 was really more of like a 6 a.m. to 10 PM, but, like, 3 days a week. Um, so I've never really done the whole, like, work for a full day thing, and I'm kinda scared that writing will have to go to the wayside. Okay, just a couple more, I'm sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. Yes, you do not have to hit your writing goal today. You got this. Just any amount that you get done. The title of the stream is literally my goal, aka finish my first draft before school's done for the summer. Yeah, I feel that. June 1st is like, I have to hit that or I'm gonna be so upset at myself. You said you have trouble sticking with one story idea and not jumping between projects. I think yes, I do. I have ADHD. Do you have any tips for persevering through one project? I keep losing motivation and never finish. I feel like for me, it always takes the right project or it takes the right motivation. So right now, I'm only focused because I had to like leave my agent. So I'm like, I need to get a new agent really badly. Obviously, that's not everyone's situation. So prior to this, I hyper fixated on one book that I was working on for 10 years. Um, 10 years plus, like closer to 15 probably. So it does take the right project sometimes to come along and sweep you off your feet and make you really want to like fall in love and see it through to the end. Otherwise, it's discipline, unfortunately, which I hate saying because like that's hard for me and there's a very valid reason why that's hard for me and there's a ton of valid reasons why that would be hard for like a lot of people. Um, but you know, just figure it out, and if it's really not clicking, and if you really can't keep motivation for it, then that's probably a sign that maybe it's not the right project for this moment. I think another thing to do is to, like, switch things up as you're working on the story. You can try bouncing back and forth, like, a little bit, kind of, like, have one project in revisions and one project in early outlining or drafting stages, or you can try to, like, um do I think Susan Dennard calls it like the cookie method, where you come up with scenes that you're really excited to write, and you write toward those scenes, as you're working on the draft, and that kind of keeps that going. You're, like, leaving yourself a little trail of cookies. We love a Lynn Yap session. I talk so much. Oh my god. I'm working on the last chapter, number 47 at 108,000. Wow, that is a big book. "Don't poke holes in Swiss cheese," a quote I came up with to stop myself from picking apart my first draft. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Alright, let's do the Pomodoro because I want to type. Alright, let's run this. Great. Okay. I hope everyone's ready because we are going to just jump right into it. Alright. How was that for everyone? Oh my gosh. I hope that my typing noises aren't too obtrusive. I just got my first mechanical keyboard, so I've been really excited about the typing. But yeah, let's do a little quick break, answer some questions. Minutes for sure. Um, that that felt pretty good for me. I think I did like a page, 2 pages of writing. I'm rewriting one of these scenes here because I just feel like I didn't write it super effectively the first time around. Um, let's see, let's answer some questions or look at some of the comments here. Tornado in your area, so my Wi-Fi will be in and out. Hope you've been doing fine. Thank you, I am doing fine. I hope that you're safe and everyone you're around you is safe. Um, yeah, it seems like it's tornado season or something, which why is that a thing? Pretty good. Mechanical keyboards are fun. They are fun. At first, I wasn't sure if I would like it because it kind of felt like, in a weird way, that my keyboard was too far from my brain. I don't know how else to describe that, but I think just getting used to it. When I type on my, just my laptop keyboard, it's so subconscious, like, I'm not aware of the typing at all, so it doesn't get in the way of my thought process, but with the mechanical keyboard, I'm a little bit more aware of it, but I'm getting used to that too, so it's not so bad. Working on a rough chapter outline, and I am now on chapter 4. Great. Nice, chapter 4, that's great. What are you outlining? Um, 700 words for me. Nice, very nice. Somehow I was forced to move from character design to my magic system. Hey, magic systems are fun. That went well for me. I'm doing revisions and halfway through this chapter. Awesome. Yeah, I hope to my goal is to finish like 2 chapters, I think. Let me see what I have next. Yeah, I have 2 chapters and they're really just like restructuring chapter. Maybe I'll aim for 3. Maybe I'll aim for 3. Who knows? I've already kind of been doing this for an hour, but that's fine. Zero point 0.6 page in my reverse outline. It was better than expected. That's great. I'm really glad you're getting stuff done. Um, and any progress is good progress. Slow start, but I was jamming to the new Outsiders musical soundtrack while figuring out how to rewrite this chapter. Oh, there's an Outsiders musical now? That's interesting. Mm. I need to find some like new music, I think. Every book I write, I have a playlist for it, and I feel like I've been listening to the Moths playlist for like 3 years straight, and I'm so sick of it. It's a lot of like soundtrack music, like dramatic orchestral music, but also French songs that are kind of sad. Um, yeah, I'm tired of her. I got 600 words down and I already want to rework the scene. You know, you could take a break, you can write a different scene, see how you feel about it. That went well, trying to incorporate scenes and transitions into chapters. Yep, yep, sounds good. You have tornado season, we have hurricane season. True. Oh my gosh. I'm really like lucky because I don't know if people care, but I came back from living in Thailand for like 6-ish months and I was there at the exact end point of monsoon season and I left before it began. So I missed monsoon season, thankfully. Took me a while to get used to my mechanical keyboard too. Yeah, I feel like it's just like different, but I like it. I like how tactile it is. It makes typing really fun and it's definitely better for you than this like claw position that I have to do with the MacBook keyboard. Murder mystery kinda inspired by the movie Scream. I love the Scream movies. I even love the bad ones. I have seen all of them. Um, we just my friend and I did a marathon, I think, last year, and I'm obsessed with them even though some of them are not very good, but the first one is excellent. So that's great. I'm very intrigued by that. All good, it's late here and trying to wrap my head around summing up the story in the last chapter. Yeah, yeah, you kind of have to, like, end on a refresher, I feel like, sometimes. This one okay for me because I only got about 308 words, but I really like them. Yeah, I mean, like, words are still words, like always. Sometimes you write 1,000 words in 25 minutes, sometimes you're at, like, 5, and either way, it's still progress, especially if you like them. That's the big win there. That's, like, the bigger win. Your keyboard sounds like it has silent red switches. Oh, They sound fine, pretty quiet and chill. I have silver switches, which is my fave. I don't let me see what switches I have because that doesn't sound familiar. I'm still really new to the hobby, so I could be wrong, but let's see what switches I have on here. They just kind of sent me the whole thing built. And I do intend to swap out the the keycaps because I kind of want some that are a little bit more colorful, basically. But I like the switches. Um, Wisteria switches, and this is an Epo Maker keyboard. It went good, got 508 words. I'm writing a contemporary romance book with a touch of fantasy. Nice, nice. That sounds really fun. Like a little bit of almost like a contemporary fantasy with romance. But that's what you said. I just switched the words around. Only 50 words, technically 48 because two were the words chapter 21, and I don't count those because those are headings. Hey, that's still good. That's still progress. This is giving me the motivation to finish my last term paper for this semester of grad school, ready to be done with it so I can actually work on my writing projects. Yes, get those papers out of the way, focus on school. Um, but yeah, I'm glad. Honestly, like I said, anything that you want to get done, any productive thing, or if you just want to hang out. Yes, and it's so good. Oh, for Outsiders, yeah. My friend from high school is in it. It's his Broadway debut. That is so cool. We were so excited to see him in it, and it lived up to the hype. That's awesome. That's really cool. We so I went to see sorry, this just reminded me of, like, a random thing that happened, but I went to see, the bad, like, Mean Girls musical movie with my friends, in Thailand, and we were watching it, and after one of my friends was like, "I went to high school with one of, like, the background extras," and we are like, "Oh, well, at least she's getting work." But this sounds much better. 120 words, struggled to get my character's voice and current emotion down. Yeah, it can be hard to nail down voice. I start to lose it a little bit, especially like after I've been writing a book for too long. I feel like all that brain power that goes into crafting the voice in the first couple chapters just kind of goes out the window because I'm just trying to finish the book and survive, but you'll get it. It always comes to you. Question: how difficult is it to break into the romance novel biz? I have no idea. I think it is very competitive because it is like the most profitable sector of books anywhere ever. Um, but you never know until you try. I feel like also it seems to me, and I don't read romance regularly. I just kind of vaguely know of some romance writers and the romance sphere. It's important to be able to write quickly and capitalize on trends, like much more so in this genre, it seems like. Love a good mechanical keyboard. That tactility helps me stay focused on writing when I'm drafting. Yeah, I think it really unlocks my focus mode, which is super nice. I'm in love with mechanical keyboards. I can't go back anymore. I'm scared that I'm going to spend all my money on them and just have 1,000 mechanical keyboards for no reason. But yeah, I think this is a game changer for me, more so than many other things. Does this happen to anyone else where you write great words that you love and then you realize that they leak onto the page where the next chapter is supposed to begin, so you have to erase it? Um, wait, I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, my brain processing just is shot. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so tired, but if you could clarify a little bit, that would be great. 500 words. I wrote about a girl who investigated why a professor weirdly died in a lake. The villagers believe that he saw fairy illusion in the lake and swam into it. He always obsessed with fairy. That's cool. That's really interesting. I like that. It's like a darker take on the Emily Wilde sort of fairy study genre, which I thought that book was a lot of fun. Same. I got my first me to not get all the keyboards, right? Like, now that I have one, I just want 1,000 of them. I don't know what that is. Specifically, I just want, like, different color bases so I can do different combinations of colors with the keycaps and stuff. I have to control myself though. I am a grad student. Like I cannot be spending like this. Um, you can be like Chris and buy a new keyboard for your next book. I can't be like Chris. Chris has a job, dude. I don't. um, yeah, I think I'll probably do like different keycaps soon though. Is that's going to be my treat for myself. Um, yeah, but it would definitely be fun to sort of experiment with different builds and get in. Oh, it's like golden hour. Um, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought completely. I got a Pinterest email and it said 100 dark academia books you need to read, and I looked at it, was like, you forgot moths. Stop. Oh, that makes me happy. Thank you. I hope to be on a list like that someday. I can't believe there's already 100 dark academia books out there, though. That I need to catch up. Any advice on getting short stories published? Think it would be helpful when subbing to an agent. Yeah. So I have experience with short stories, more so through the fact that I'm a first reader for a literary magazine than through my actual short story publications because I've only gotten two. So the things that I notice the most are people not really understanding what the magazine wants and not polishing up their work enough or just like generally not listening to rules. So make sure that your work is polished, make sure that it is a complete story. Like a lot of the stories that I pass on, it's because they feel like a fragment or they straight up are an excerpt from a longer work, which generally speaking, most magazines aren't going to take. Or I'm just like, what was the point of this? So make sure that your story has some sort of point, some sort of like satisfying wrap up conclusion, or just hits that thematic note really well. And make sure that you very, very closely read the guidelines for submission. Don't just like throw it in there, figure out what format they want, figure out what kind of themes they're looking for, figure out what they don't want, because a lot of literary magazines are like, we're not going to consider certain types of content. Just a heads up. And finally, figure out what they want in terms of vibes, which is going to be a lot vaguer. And I feel like sometimes magazines, for good reason, aren't super specific about the kinds of stories they're looking for, but it is a very specific thing that they're looking for. Um, So I would say that like reading a lot of what they have published and bought before is super helpful just to kind of get a handle of like, is my voice kind of the right fit? Is this genre the right fit? Are they looking for something more literary or more like straight up genre? Mm. Sorry. So just like do your research, and Chill Subs has been a lifesaver. It's basically a big directory of all the magazines, and it tells you which ones are open for submissions and when, and which ones aren't. And you can filter by genre that they accept and word count and stuff like that, and paying and not paying. And you also have like a tracker, so you know which you have to like input all the information yourself. But I use the tracker to figure out like which things I have out to which magazines, so I don't like double submit or anything. Chill Subs is great, and it's like all the useful stuff is completely free, so that's very helpful. So that's a good resource, and I don't know, just like write a lot of short stories. I don't know if it pushes the needle a ton on getting an agent, but it definitely shows that you like know enough about writing to get published by a magazine. So yeah, I think it's worth pursuing, and I just love writing short fiction. That's the other thing is like I've written a lot of short fiction that I haven't submitted anywhere, and I feel like you kinda have to like, I know which short stories are worth submitting, but I just write all of my ideas anyway because I want them to be written. Also, I mean that I forgot to write the chapter number, so I, again, had to erase it and rewrite it. Oh, okay. Um, I got custom keycaps on Etsy so I can see my dogs on my key. That's so cute. That's very sweet. That's also very cool that people on Etsy can just kind of put what you like on there. Thanks, we'll keep that in mind and check out some of the publications first. Yeah, you're welcome. It's really just a lot of it boils down to luck, unfortunately, like with everything, but if you just keep shopping a story around, eventually someone will pick it up. I've had to, like, shop rejected stories around to a couple different places before getting them picked up. Yeah. It's definitely, like, nice because usually it's a much quicker turnaround time on responses. So you kinda know within a couple weeks or a couple months, like, if your story got rejected or accepted or, like, shortlisted or whatever, and I feel like it's just so much nicer, like, you just don't have to wait as much. Mm. Alright, let's do another Pomodoro here. Okay, very nice. That is sprint 2 done. Let me just put myself big there again. How was that for everyone? I am very close to the end. I finished, like, the first scene of this chapter. Now I'm just working on the not the first scene, but the second scene of this chapter. Now I'm working on the last scene, which is a new scene, so I have to write it from the beginning. But let me know how you guys handled that. And also welcome to all the latecomers in chat. Thank you for hopping on. Um 25 words, that's sprint. Very nice. Finished outlining chapter 10. Excellent. Yeah. Seems like you're making really good progress. Why does this keep pausing? That's so interesting. Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I missed the last one because I had to go to prom. Well, it was your prom, so I'm glad that you went to that instead of sitting in on my stream. And I'm glad you can make it to this one. I hope your prom went well. 1.1 pages in your outline so far. That's amazing. How long are your outlines usually? I feel like mine are long, sometimes very long. Only 259 words. I got distracted because of twice. Still 259 words. Found my stride finally. It's a tense situation, and I'm loving the challenge of depicting it correctly. Yes, I love writing any scene with, like, so much tension, or those scenes where a bunch of tension that's been building up kind of, like, culminates. Oh, my favorite stuff. 52 words done this sprint. Very nice. Did some brainstorming for my fantasy tournament. That sounds really cool. What is a fantasy tournament? About 300 words, which isn't terrible. I mean, that's very good. I'm reworking my MFA manuscript to submit it as part of a chapbook. Slow but steady progress. Very nice. Wrote 600 words more. I hope I can reach today's goal, which is 5K. That's very cool. 5K in a day. Haven't done one of those in a while, but I hope you get it. And I will do whatever I can to help you, which is mainly just run sprints. Joined late but finished revising a chapter. I'm pleased with the plot, characters, and world building. Now revising for tone and the dreaded punctuation. Yeah, oh my gosh. I still have to copy edit this book. Not excited. I usually write pretty clean just because I kind of like pick up on little copy edit things as I go along, but there's always like a handful of really embarrassing typos. 200 words, very nice. Surprisingly well. I think I got a brain shock, is that the phrase? And figured out the midpoint. It's juicy, there's a death. Very nice. Yeah. That I feel like a death is always that's a good midpoint twist, you know? As long as it's like a meaningful death. Had a lot of fun writing the scene, a witch stealing someone's knowledge slash memories. Oh, very cool. I don't like my plot a whole lot, but this is basically my third rewrite, and with this being a K-drama, I'm trying to make each episode 60 pages per episode. It's estimated to be 12 episodes. That's super cool. I can't believe you're writing a K-drama. That's amazing. Thank you. Just trying to finish this draft before my birthday, June 1st. Happy early birthday. I'm also trying to finish this draft before your birthday, so we'll celebrate somehow on June 1st. Maybe I'll do a June 1st stream. Please tell me revisions will make me love the scene I'm writing. They should, and if they don't, then it's time to cut the scene. I realized while working on this that I put some events in the wrong place or episode. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Almost a fourth of the way through the character sheets I wanted to finish today. Nice. I haven't done a character sheet in a long time, which I might do because I feel like as I'm going into like new projects, it's good to start sort of building up my relationship with those characters in some way before I start writing them. Anyone ever have characters where you know how their names are pronounced because you wrote the name, but you always want to pronounce it differently? Yeah, I had a character named Ari, and I would just alternate between like Ari and Ari, and it was like fine. That's so sweet. I hope we can finish our projects. I hope so too. My K drama is a contemporary romance, but not quirky. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Korean dramas I don't actually watch a ton of K-dramas, which a lot of my other Korean friends think is blasphemy, but I really like Korean film, but a lot of them do have a very specific type of quirkiness that I think is really interesting. Mostly spent it trying to think of a metaphor of something that inevitably crashes back down to earth. Ooh. Oh, I don't know why my keyboard is so low on battery. Let me charge it. I think I'll probably do one more sprint and then I have to dip. So we'll chat a little bit longer. Sorry, I'm getting a little more comfortable. And then do another sprint and then we'll be done for today. While I've got y'all, I have a question. So I originally started doing these as like a weekday evening thing because that was what my poll indicated would be the best for everyone. But I'm thinking of doing a regular sprint schedule and it would basically be every other Sunday evening. So I guess like show of hands or just your opinions on whether or not that's good for you or, if y'all can make it because you guys are the ones who are here right now. And I think that has a little bit more weight than just a poll from random people who stumbled upon it. This is an old project I'm sort of reworking, so redoing the sheets is a must. That makes a lot of sense to just like find your footing again and also to deepen characters that in an older project maybe were a little bit different. I'm struggling with the headquarters of the secret society of my novel, so I'm designing it in The Sims 4. That is actually so smart. I should do something like that, but I don't have the patience for it. But I seriously, that's so smart, and I applaud you. Definitely won't finish my draft before your birthday. I love how we're all like, yeah, Emmy's birthday is gonna be the event of the season. Good luck to you, Kokoro. Something about a miniseries strikes me as oh, sorry, I'm reading like messages to other people. Oh my god, another super. Thank you, Hassan. 2 pages knocked out. I'm so glad. I'm happier about that than the super, but thank you. That's so generous and nice. I honestly, I just turned it on a whim and I didn't think that anyone would do it, but I've had at least one for every single one of these live streams, which has been really nice and helpful because I am a grad student. I'm not going to pretend I'm like hurting for money or anything, but it's very nice to feel appreciated monetarily. Hello, I'm new to your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I feel like I've had an influx of new people to my channel who are actually like active viewers and stuff, which has been really exciting because I think a lot of my subscribers come from a handful of older videos and they're not as engaged with my new stuff because my content has kind of changed a lot since I first started out. So it's super nice to see, and I always appreciate it. Okay, yeah, this is all response to the weekend thing. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that sounds good. So I think I'll probably start doing a regular Sunday stream at like a set time each week. Um, yeah, like really it's if I do Sundays too, I'll have a little bit more time. Like I'll probably do them a little bit like, later in the evening. I'm not typically someone who stays up late, but, like, 7 PM my time to so I can eat dinner before and then just go, basically, until I'm tired. But, yeah, I really like these, and it's a great way for me to stay regular with my writing as well, so it's kind of just a win-win all around for me because I get to interact with you guys, and I get to write. Oh, sorry. Sunday evenings, great. Yeah. I mean, obviously no pressure to make it either. I'm just trying to see if people who are interested in coming to sprints regularly, like, are able to make that or if that's like a definite no-go. But I feel like a lot of people are pretty much like chilling on Sunday evenings. Also, I recently finished a novel draft and now I'm doing character work on one of my other projects, particularly the antagonist, who is a goth cow. Stop. She sounds so cool already. A goth cowgirl. Oh my God. I don't even care if she's the antagonist. She's the hero in my heart. I'd need the streams to be on the earlier side, TBH. Yeah, I can try to mix it up and do some like earlier, some later, just to allow different people who aren't able to hop on. There's also always like the replays. I know it's not the same thing necessarily, but if you're just trying to get a session done, then you can kind of just follow along on the sprints. Um, I don't know if this is at me. What time is it for you right now? For me right now, it's almost 8 o'clock. So I'm in CDT, which is that central? I just moved. I don't know anything about the Midwest. I'm in the Chicago time zone. So it's 7:40 PM for me right now on Wednesday. Any day is great for me. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I just read that really fast in my head. But yeah, that sounds like around what I do. Yes. Yeah, we were safe. Thank you for asking or being worried. Yeah, it passed right by us. It was my first tornado warning, so it was kind of an initiation, but it was all good. Everyone was safe. And I don't think it actually touched down on us at all. I think it was mostly just, like, really windy and there was a little bit of hail. When your villains are evil but are a good couple to each other and have cute evil nicknames, that's cute. I like that. I always love the villain. Mm. Okay. Alright, I kinda wanna get hustling, sorry. I can smell dinner, so I am very eager to eat. But let's do another one real quick because 'cause I'm not hungry yet. Um, sorry, I have, like, a cookie here. I'm gonna show you guys my cookie. I'm sorry, cookie is going to happen. I made this. I'm a baker. I like to bake, not professionally, just for fun. This is the best chocolate chip cookie I've made in my entire life. It's the Ambitious Kitchen brown butter chocolate chip cookie. Make it I did, like, less flour, so it's 2 1/4 cups of flour. I did 2 and a tablespoon because I don't like my cookies super floury. Put in chopped walnuts, and I did, like, chopped milk chocolate and chopped dark chocolate, and fresh out of the oven, these smelled like absolute heaven, and I just need to share that knowledge, like, the Ambitious Kitchen brown butter chocolate chip cookie recipe. That is the one, that is the move. I'm never making a different cookie ever again. Okay, now that the cookie talk is done, let us do the sprint. Okay. That is actually I've decided that's not gonna be the last sprint. So if anyone wants to stay on, we're gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna stretch though because I've been sitting for way too long. It's been like 2 hours of sitting. Oof. So everyone stretch if you've been sitting for a long time. Actually, I'm gonna grab something real quick, so let me just pause and then we'll jump right back into it. So drop any questions or chat a bit, do whatever you'd like. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bonus sprint. Oh my gosh, I love your guys' cookie reactions. Yeah, they're so good. And not even to like toot my own horn because like yeah, I bake frequently, but sometimes I don't bake well. But this time I did bake well, and it's all because of the recipe. Um, let's see where this. Yep, a bonus sprint for today. Just another little 25-minute one. Gonna hop off now and get dinner. Yeah, absolutely. If you have to go, y'all can go. You do not. Please, y'all have lives. It's all good. Mhm. Good job, everyone, with the last sprint. Yeah, this has been great. I actually just finished chapter 22, which is super nice because that means I only have like, I don't know, like 7 chapters left. 6. Yeah, I hope everyone who's hopping off now, farewell. Have a great rest of your evening or day. And I'll catch you guys on the next one if you're able to come. 400 words, super nice. Good job. 1.5 pages in your outline, bullet points per beat, like a mood or location change, compelling cliffhangers for most of my episodes, but I don't know what will work for the cliffhanger. Great. I mean, 1.5 pages is great for an outline, for an episode outline. That I think it'll come to you. I got 146 words done and finished chapter 20. That is great. I love like the feeling of finishing a chapter is so nice. And I have this little like fill out thing. I've been doing it for a while and I've shown it on my channel where I just like kind of fill out each of these bubbles as I finish a chapter and it makes it super satisfying to keep track of my progress. And it's a lot better for me than the word count trackers because I end up deleting a lot of my stuff. So my word count kind of shrinks and grows at random. I finished my rough chapter outline. Now onto the detailed chapter. I outline a lot. Wait, you're not holding us hostage? Actually, yes, I changed my mind. I am holding you hostage. You're not allowed to leave. How was editing in this previous sprint? I'm thinking about making little exercises for myself to improve some of the things I find lacking from the scenes I've written so far. Any suggestions? Um, Little exercises to improve things in your scenes. I guess like the best thing that I can come up with that's kind of like a story level. I wouldn't say it's an exercise, but I do use the 3 C's a lot, which is the making sure every scene has context, choice, and consequence. So you have the context. I talk about this every time I'm on camera. I am so proud of this system, but it's helped me a lot. Context is basically like what is the character's backstory? Why are they like this? Where are they coming from? What like place of understanding are they coming from? And also, what's the situation they're in? And then choice is the choice they make in that situation. Consequence is the consequence of that choice, and that will just lead you into the next scene. And I feel like establishing those things helps me because one of my weaknesses is like direction in scenes because I feel like I get off track a lot in my outlines. So just making sure that that's there keeps things tight. Um, Other exercises could be just like making sure that most of your scenes are multitasking or have a lot of utility. So a dialogue scene shouldn't just be a dialogue scene. It should push the story forward in some way. Again, a very similar concept to the three C's, but make sure you have like subtext. If you could figure out some exercises for including subtext, that'd be super helpful. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on what you think is lacking. So let us know. Thank you for the sprint. I've been in a writing slump for a few weeks, but I managed a few hundred words today. That's amazing. I'm so glad people are getting stuff done and that I'm getting stuff done, but that we're all getting stuff done. Um, I guess you're welcome. I am not really, honestly, this is super easy to set these up, but thank you for participating and you took the initiative and you did that. So that is all because of you. I got more info down about the goth cowgirl antagonist. Yes! Oh my god, love her. She's not evil, she just has a conflicting motive with the protagonist. Hell yeah, I didn't think she would be. She's too cool to be evil. But also, if she were evil, she would make evil cool. I keep forgetting to add chapters to the thing I'm writing. Yeah, it's hard to figure out those breaks sometimes. I finished a chapter, which is awesome. It's only chapter 2, but I'm really satisfied with it so far. Hey, that is like fantastic because honestly, the number of projects where I've only done chapter 1 is and like given up after, it's more than 0, I'll tell you that. Would you ever do a tour of your writing journal or a video on how you journal with your writing and physically track your process? Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, it's just really like this is the page that I use the most, and it's literally just tracking what chapters I finished with the revisions. I have a little note, like, honestly, I kind of want to cover it, but I do have this section here, which is I've collected reader feedback from people who read the first 2 acts and made like condensed them into a couple notes, and I made it into a checklist, which I haven't been utilizing that much in this revision, which I should, but I kind of like did a quickie pass on acts 1 and 2 because there honestly wasn't that much to do. Sorry, I get so thirsty when I talk. And then I have like a to-do list for querying. This is just like vlog notes because I'm kind of updating my vlogs. And then I just straight up wrote a short story in here. So it's kind of a mix of everything. Oh, I have some world building for my gothic romantasy. It's really simple. I used to be like a big bullet journaling person. I even have like a bullet journaling video and I was really organized about it, but it kind of is not the most productive thing for me because I take a lot of time. 400 words and finished chapter 15. The sprints are so helpful, so thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming and doing that. 539 words this time. That's amazing. That's a really nice chunk of words. I'm an hour ahead, so after this last sprint, I'll probably be ready for bed. Yeah, I think I'll probably end it after this last sprint, so no worries there at all. Yeah, it's definitely getting on the late side, but yeah. So honestly, let's see if I can make this 15 minutes. I did not know if that was gonna work. Yeah, let's do a little 15-minute one. This technically is a break timer, but we're gonna do it as a sprint timer. All right, let's go ahead and start. Okay. Ooh, that is everything. That's the last print. I'm going to, I guess, retire for the evening. But yeah, let me just go through and I'll take a couple minutes to answer everyone's questions. We've had a really consistent turnout this like whole time. Oh, it's getting a little dark for me. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I feel like it fluctuated a little bit during the last one, but thank you guys for sticking it out and thank you for everyone who came in late. Um, yeah, I how did that one go for everyone? I kinda jumped ahead because chapter 24 is, like, more written, it's less writing new things in chapter 23, and I'm feeling kinda lazy, but, I feel like I've made such good progress, like, I've gotten a really good chunk of Act 4 done. I'm just kind of worried that with the cuts I've made, this book isn't going to be long enough, which I'm an underwriter, so of course that's gonna happen. I've cut a few scenes just because I felt like they were sort of redundant. So I might have to come up with some more events that will happen in Act 4, Act 3, just to kind of keep the ball rolling. But I hate shoehorning scenes in, and I feel like the current structure of the story is very tight. Um, I did not do anything during that whole sprint. That's okay. It was a short one, and it was like the last one, so it's totally fine. Jolly times. Thanks for coming, Adam. Wasn't that productive, but we'll probably continue working on it after this live stream ends. Yeah, I hope you do. And again, we'll be doing another one, not this Sunday, but probably next Sunday, I'm thinking. Thank you and see y'all later. Yeah, see you too. Thank you for coming. This was a great stream. It was the first one I've ever participated in, and I got 625 words in and finished a chapter. I am so honored that it's the first one. I feel like this is a section of the whole like writing YouTube thing that a lot of people who go to these are very devoted to going to them, but it's so cool. This is only my second stream, so thank you. And I'm so glad that you got so much done. That is amazing. I found a patch for my plot hole, still didn't finish the chapter, but it's okay. That is yeah, you know what? It'll get done eventually, and patching a plot hole is still a big accomplishment. You can have some of my scenes, I'm an overwriter. Yeah. Uh, I'll take them. Honestly, I just need to sit down and figure out some ways to probably the last act could be a lot longer because there should be a little bit more wrapping things up. I kind of don't know. There's like a very minor, it's like a subplot D, like a D storyline where it's very low on the ladder, but the main character has a strained relationship with her mother, and by the end of it, they've kind of patched things up. I guess it's a spoiler, but obviously. Um, so maybe I should have that happen a little bit more or have that be interspersed. I could definitely add a little bit more to beef up that subplot. Not sure if a morning scene will work as the cliffhanger, but I'll just go with it for now and move on. Yeah. Thank you so much for hosting. You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you for hosting. Yeah, literally anytime. It's not, I mean, literally any Sunday. It's not terribly difficult. Again, you guys are the ones who come in here and put in the work and have the dedication for it. So it's everything you've accomplished today, you've accomplished because of yourself. I was scooping cat litter for this one. You know what? That is getting stuff done. I got a good chunk of scenes outlined this stream, so I feel great. That midpoint really struck some inspo in me. Good, I'm really glad. Thank you for hanging out for this whole long stream. I'm about to end it, so thank you so much, everyone, for coming down, and I will make an official announcement about the Sunday stream scheduling soon. But these have been super fun, and can't really say thank you enough. But yeah, bye, and also thank you to replay people. Have fun.